We'll move to the next speaker. Councillor Mihevc.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I guess some issues in life need to be debated and redebated and redebated. Maybe this is one of them. Maybe it's good to go back to, I think it was 2003, something like that, where we as a council voted 37 or 36 to 6 or 7 in support of this project. And since then, I can tell you, because I've attended some of the conferences at the Canadian Urban Transit Association, the TTC gets kudos galore for the leadership it is showing nationally around building light rail. At APTA, the American Public Transit Association, when they had their conference here last year, guess what happens? They come up in busloads regularly, well, at that conference, but also regularly thereafter, to St. Clair, because St. Clair is what is being looked at across North America as a model for how to really provide better public transit for people living in cities. In the upcoming months, I understand there's a transportation, not a transit, but a transportation conference being held in Toronto. And guess what the centerpiece of a lot of their activities is going to be when they go for their outings? It's going to be St. Clair, because of the balance in the way they have found between the needs of the vehicles, the needs of pedestrians, the needs of public transit. So why, and you know, this is happening in a context where you know, there's been a lot of delays on St. Clair's. I will remind city councillors of the court case that delayed us a year. I will remind city councillors of the delays that happened last year as a result of some of the public consultations. And yes, there is a group of people that are anxious to slow this thing down. And you know what the end result of it was last year? That they started construction on the piece between Dufferin and Caledonia in October. They wanted to start it in the summertime. And then the winter hit, and we all know it was a bad winter. So that business community lost a whole lot of support and a lot of business because they couldn't work during the winter months, and they had this construction site in front of them for many more months than is necessary. The same thing can happen here if we don't get on with it. The negative impacts of any delays or deferrals or obfuscations will be tremendous. St. Clair's been ripped up by Enbridge. It's been ripped up by Hydro. It's been ripped up by water and wastewater, or soon will be ripped up by water and wastewater. The sidewalk is in a bad state of disrepair. The road is in a bad state of disrepair. The track is in a bad state of disrepair and has been like that for a while. The businesses are at the point now, some of them have always been supportive, and then another group has come on board recognizing that this project is going forward, and what they're telling us is get on with it. Get on with it as quickly as possible so that we can return to normal business activity on the street. They will be negatively impacted by any delays or trying to basically push this project to the side. It is absolutely not the right thing to do. I can't imagine any local councillor who's listening to the businesses saying that a delay actually is going to help the atmosphere, the community getting together, back together on the street. This project is going to happen, and...
Oh, sorry. Councillor Palacio, state your point of privilege.
Councillor Mihevc is all along throughout his speech, his characterization overall is talking about the local councillors, the ones who've been somehow, in his words, opposing to the project, that are the cause of all these losses for business and whatever else. I never misled the community. I always supported. I've been trying to work with city staff just for clarification, for your own clarification.
Madam Chair.
Sorry, I'm not...
Now, the question is, bring forward factual information. Don't characterize and impugn my reputation, because that's what you are doing all along.
All right, Councillor. Thank you. Councillor Mihevc.
Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, there are tremendous negative impacts with any attempts at this point to defer this project, especially at this point. Because the contract is going out now, we're barely going to be able to make it and finish it before winter. But more importantly, I think the impacts will be felt system-wide. Could you imagine if we don't go forward with this, the kind of credibility loss that will happen with the province and with the federal government, who are pumping money into this project, the province who's pumping money into Transit City, if we can't get our act together and hold it together for the period of construction? We will look like the fools the provincial government looked like, as Councillor Mihevc pointed out, when Eglinton spent $100 million halfway through the project, and guess what? Change of government, and that project goes down the tubes. We can't do that. For the credibility of this council, for the credibility of public transit, we need this project to go forward. It's 2/3 built. There's a third to go. Let's get those shovels in the ground. Let's show that we are capable as a council to hold with our resolution of 36-7 or 37-6, whatever the numbers were, that we can city build and that we'll hold firm to the end. Anything else, I think we will lose credibility in all kinds of directions. So those are my comments, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you.